TV cameraman finds bizarre scratches after being shoved by a spirit during filming. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to Did You Know and hit the bell so you never miss an upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. When it comes to paranormal phenomena, some people staunchly believe it exists, while others think it's simply a figment of an imagination gone wild. That is, until they experience it themselves. There have been plenty of skeptics who have become believers after a creepy run-in with the unknown. Sometimes something so unsettling happens to them that they're forced to accept the possibility that otherworldly forces may be at play. Recently, a team of paranormal investigators called Spirit Team were filming at Fort Whidley, an abandoned transit depot in Portsmouth, England, that was rumored to be haunted. The crew spent all day in the building and, much to their disappointment, didn't find any signs of ghostly entities. But just before they wrapped up shooting, something happened that left them all trembling with fear. Paranormal phenomena is a difficult thing for many people to believe in. Unless someone has a personal experience with an otherworldly force, it's hard to convince them that ghosts and other spiritual entities actually exist. Recently, a group of paranormal investigators known as Spirit Team were shooting footage at Fort Whidley, an abandoned transit depot in Portsmouth, England, that was rumored to be haunted. They spent hours walking the halls and exploring every room, hoping to capture some sort of evidence that proved there was, in fact, an unknown spiritual energy that inhabited the building. Still, the crew grew more disappointed with every hour that passed. They had heard stories that the ghost of a young boy haunted the building, but so far they hadn't seen anything that supported that claim. The team was prepared to wrap up shooting for the day after they explored one last room. It was the largest room in Fort Whidley, and they hoped that they'd be able to capture some sort of creepy footage to return home with. The team set up their lights and cameras and decided they would spend the final hour in the main room before they called it quits for the day. One of the camera operators knelt on the ground so he could get a better shot of his teammate, and that's when something happened that made his blood run cold. Something or someone had shoved the cameraman from behind, causing him to lose his balance. He immediately spun around thinking it was another crew member who had accidentally bumped into him while exploring the room, but there was no one there. The cameraman was visibly shaken. All of his years spent on Spirit Team, he never once had anything like this happen to him. He had captured plenty of strange footage in the past, but this was the first time something physically happened to him. A few minutes after he stood up, he told his team that he felt a burning sensation on his back. It was as if someone had given him a deep paper cut. One crew member asked him to lift his jacket so he could see if there was any sort of marking on his bare skin. Sure enough, there were 3 red horizontal lines on his back. The camera operator was positive that they weren't on his skin when he left his home that morning. He was convinced that whatever it was that bumped him from behind in the abandoned building had left the scratches. Imagine something like this happening to you. Would you still continue to investigate paranormal activity? It takes a brave group of people to venture into a haunted building. After an experience like this, they might think twice before visiting the next one. Share this spooky story with your friends below.